KROV FM radio. I'm here with the Freedom Riders. Yes, right here in the city of San Antonio. We're going to be experiencing a difference today. Yes, ones who walked, talked, went to prison with Dr. Martin Luther King. They're going to be sharing a little bit of their testimonies. And you'll hear a lot more. But we're here in San Antonio, Texas, on the Greyhound bus, yes, with the Freedom Riders. So continue to stay tuned because you will experience a difference. I'm your host, James Lockhart from KROV FM every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we also like to thank Dr. BOEIE for making this happen.
Hi, I'm Legacy City from Rima Gospel Express. Guess who I have with me today? The beautiful Dr. BOEIE. How you doing?
Doing great.
We're here live at the Dream Week for the Freedom Riders as well. So, tell us a little bit about your foundation and what it means to be celebrating the Mississippi Freedom Riders.
Well, the Dr. BOEIE Scholarship Foundation is celebrating 22 years of working with youth in the San Antonio area. We do performing arts, after school and summer programs. And we also do community educational events. And the main event that we've been doing annually is our Get on the Bus with the original Mississippi Freedom Riders cross-country voter awareness tour. So we always do it during the Martin Luther King celebration week, and that's what we're doing right now today, is celebrating honoring actually the Mississippi Freedom Riders. However, this year we added the Cesar Chavez Foundation, which also was a civil rights movement back in the 60s and before. So we're trying to show San Antonio and the world that we can come together as one. Different races, different ages, different cultures, different religions. That's what this is all about, bringing us together here in San Antonio. That's what the BOEIE Foundation is doing.
So we're definitely proud and honored to be here, Ms. BOEIE, for you to have us here to put the interviews and be a part of this history. I know one of my favorite ones, the story I'm willing to hear was the guy, 14 years old, when he went to prison, people just wanted to see what was going on, and they round him up. So that will be happening Monday as well. So I can't wait to hear that story. And we thank you for taking the time out. I know you're hungry. I done messed up like 3 times. So look, y'all stay tuned. We got more interviews with more important people. We're making history. They continue to make history. And support the BOEIE Foundation as well. We'll have information at the bottom of the screen. I'm going down.
Come out Monday.
Monday.
At the Empire Theater. It's only $25 to come and hear the stories of the Freedom Riders and the members of the Chavez Foundation. What Jaime Martinez has been doing right here in San Antonio. His son will be our special guest speaker. $25 only.
25. That's it. That's it. That's it. So please stay tuned. We got more to come. I'm Legacy City signing out from Rima Gospel Express Dream Week.
All right.
Hi, my name is Reverend Terrence Hayes. I'm the pastor at Windcrest United Methodist Church, one of the friendliest churches in all Methodism throughout the city and the country. And we're just thrilled to be a part of this whole event and riding the bus. We're so proud that we can meet some of the original walkers and people who were actually there and touch them and ask them incisive questions. We're just thrilled to be here. Martin Luther King was particularly important to us all because he gave us a path of hope. Up to that point, with all the race riots and the miscegenation and the violence that had taken place in the South and the North, many people did not have hope at all. Recently, I did an article between Malcolm's dream and Malcolm's nightmare and Martin Luther King's dream. And that was one of the things that just pinched quick, because he threw a positive affirmation that the American people could rise above, the devastation that was happening in the South and the North, even though it was not as publicized. So we're just grateful to be here today and commemorate his memory as well as those men and women who gave their lives through the march and other kinds of issues. So thank you for interviewing me.
James Odom.
Okay, one more time.
I'm James Odom. I'm Sharon's husband, and we participate in a lot of these events together. I'm old enough that I remember what happened back in the 50s, 60s. I remember hearing about the Freedom Riders and all the other stuff that happened in the southeast part of the country. I, for one, was glad to see that type of stuff going on, and I was glad to see the changes that have happened in America since then. I look forward to seeing more changes as we go into the future.
Hi, I'm Sharon Odom. I'm chair of the Windcrest United Methodist Church Arts Council, and I assist Reverend Hayes, and I am absolutely thrilled to be part of this Freedom Riders event week here in San Antonio. I have known Dr. Barbara BOEIE, who sponsors the event. I've known her for several years now, and I knew the first time I met her, she was totally inspirational, and I just connected with her instantly, and I fell in love with her dreams. Her visions of expanding the Freedom Riders event week is very exciting. It's just to have that opportunity to be a part of living history, to talk to the persons that experienced the civil rights active movement, to share their stories, to be inspired, to always dream of non-violent answers to society's problems. They lived through hardship and trauma. They're alive today to share these incredible stories with all of us, all generations. And I feel so honored to be a part of all of these events that include the Freedom Riders. Thank you.
I'm Clarence Thompson. This is Leslie Claywood with the Bexar County Buffalo Soldiers Association, and we teach and lecture about the history of the Buffalo Soldier. We're here to participate in the march for Martin Luther King, and we're very honored to be here. It's always a pleasure to do the march. We'll do the bigger march on Monday, but it's always a pleasure to do this march, especially to teach the young folks where they came from and where they need to go and keep going. And that's what the Buffalo Soldiers are all about.
Good morning. My name is Tony Mandujano,
That would be nice.
and I'm here today boarding on this bus, Freedom Riders. Martin Luther King was a great man on this nation, and he bonded with many allies, especially the Union. And I'm here from our teachers union, since we've always been involved with every civil rights movements here in San Antonio, since I always allied with the Central Labor Council of San Antonio, and how Martin Luther King was praised, especially from all these events that were going on during that civil rights movement for labor rights and civil rights. So he was a great leader out there, and that's why we're always here for him, since he's always left a legacy which we always need to follow and always need to go a non-violent way, always to have great change out here, especially as the way it is now. Keep on changing, keep on getting things progressive in our nation. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Fred Anderson. I was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi,
Person that came forward with
and at the age of 15, I became a Freedom Rider. And I was pulled off the bus, and the police took me to jail, and I was housed on death row with the death row prisoners for 39 days.
conference.
And as a result of that experience, I became an active civil rights worker for the next 3 or 4 years in Mississippi, Alabama, and Southwest Georgia. In 1965, I moved to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and that's where I've lived ever since. But I've come back for the last 4 years to participate in this event, to try and encourage and inspire young people to continue to keep the dream alive. And that's why I'm here again this year.
Next conference? Yes, I don't see it.
Come on, y'all on TV, come on! On TV!
Also, put your hands together for the Freedom Riders that have come near and far, Mississippi and Canada and all over. They're here with us. I want to thank the law enforcement officers from Kirby, Texas. Let's give them some love. They allowed us to transport safely, amen. The marching band, Alamo City, are you in the house? Come on, let's give them some love. The cheerleaders that marched with us, yes, all right, Kirby Middle School, we thank God for all of you. It is so many names, but everybody that's out here know that you're important. Sesame Challenge Justice Foundation, the president, Ernest J. Martinez, they're in the house. Let's give them some love. I am humbled and honored to be the Grand Marshal for 2018. I want you to know what I know about the Freedom Riders. In 1961 in Mississippi, we had a lot of segregation going on and a lot of unequal activity and rights and injustice going on. I was 6 years old at that time, just 6 years old. And I was in Oakland, California. And at 6 years old, I was learning how to read, how to write. I was learning arithmetic. I was learning spelling. So what I knew about Mississippi was how to spell it. And they taught us through a song how to spell it. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. That's what I knew about Mississippi. And I thank God I'm looking at my life now, growing up with the Black Panthers in my city. And during that time, the Black Panthers, because of their loyalty and different things they did, they would give the families a box of groceries. And that box of groceries would allow those single home families to make it from 1 month to the next month. Bobby Seals and Huey Nutt Newton. Bobby Seals' wife was my English teacher. Angela Davis was there during that time. So growing up, I believe those elements, that environment was imparted in me, and I am the woman that I am today. The Bible says that in the last days, he's going to pour out his spirit unto all flesh. His sons and daughters shall prophesy, his old men shall dream dreams, and his young men shall see visions. So I am a product of that historical time in my life. But I want to talk a little bit about freedom. The word of God says, he that the Son sets free is free indeed. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, there is freedom. You know, back in those days, I look at the different names that we were called being a black woman. Back in those days, and I don't want anybody to get offended because this is just history, and we have to know our history. You know, back in those days, they were called niggers, they were called Negroes, they were called blacks, and now we're African Americans. And now we also call other people. But I want you to know what you should take from all of that. The word freedom. He tells us to be sober, to be vigilant, because the adversary as a roaring lion, he walking about seeking whom he may devour. But if you don't understand the freedom, then you'll never reach your potentials. We're now free to live in any neighborhood we want to live in. We're now free to have the greatest education that we want. We're now free to join hands with my sisters and brothers of different colors and different descents. We're now free, come on somebody, to walk and to talk. We're now free to be the President of the United States of America. We're now free to be the Grand Marshal as a female. I went to Washington, D.C. last year in January for the inauguration. And people say, why are you there? Because I'm free. I'm free to go anywhere I want to go. I'm free to walk in any aspect of life. And that's what I want you to take from this word today, freedom. Dr. Martin Luther King said, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let it ring from the mountaintops. Let it ring on the highways and the byways. Let it ring. I'm a pastor. I'm a preacher. Let it ring from the pulpit. Let it ring right here at Friendship Park in Kirby, Texas. Children, learn your history. I talked to Freedom Rider, Mr. Cotton. I talked to Freedom Rider, Mr. Johnson, and I picked their brains. I picked their hearts to understand what they really did back in those days. Now you have to understand that there was a lot of injustice. Now people rose up not because they were evil people, but they rose up because they knew that we needed better conditions. And if it wasn't for them rising up, whether they were on the bus that got burned, whether they got arrested, whether they got beat with hoses, whether they got barked or pinned in by dogs, they, hallelujah, had a passion and a drive, and they knew that the only way change would be possible, the only way change would come. Am I talking to anybody out there? They had to do what they did. The Bible said when you did all that you know to do, you have to stand. So now we're standing. We're standing on the shoulders of giants. We're standing on the trailblazers that went before us. We're standing on those same people that are here today, over 75 years later, to come and speak to us and let us see what history looks like and let us see how far history has brought us. Let's give the Freedom Riders a round of applause. Come on, put those sanctified hands together and tell your neighbor, say, I'm free, I'm free, thank God Almighty, I'm free. Give God a praise.
Hi, I'm Legacy City. On behalf of Rima Gospel Express, KROV-FM, and the conductor himself, here at Dream Week celebrating the Freedom Riders. And guess who I have? She was a special guest last Sunday, and she's a special guest tonight, Miss Jackie Rita. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You're looking gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you so
gorgeous,
much.
Beautiful,
Thank
pretty. Because she blushing too. I'm blushing too. Yeah. So no, tell us how this Dream Week thus far been impactful for the community, the kids, the Freedom Riders themselves being.
Well, it's wonderful that they're here. They have made such a great impact on the students at Justin High School and the university in Austin. They travel far away from Mississippi for us to hear their story and let our children know and our youth, younger youth, know about their stories of their biographs.
Definitely. And a lot of people, I know we said it Sunday, a lot of people, I got you. A lot of people talk about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, but the Mississippi Freedom Riders was really the pioneers.
Correct. They were the pioneers. And matter of fact, Martin Luther King went to free some of them because they were did an injustice by being put in jail and prison for no reason at all, basically. They're standing up for their rights.
So just because you get arrested sometimes doesn't mean it's right.
That's right.
So Miss Jackie Rita, make sure I say your name right. Anything we can add? She's like, oh my God. But no, we thank you for this interview, and please enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, I am so glad that you are here. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Lockhart.
I'm Legacy City, here at Dream Week in the interviews and interviewing some important people because I feel important. Thanks to the conductor himself, got me out here doing my thing. Tune in to more interviews, and I'll see y'all Sunday.
Good morning. My name is Ernest Martinez, chairman of the Cesar E. Chavez Legacy and Educational Foundation. And we're here this morning to celebrate, as we've been all month, celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who stood up for the principles for civil rights and fighting for the rights of others, and lessons, life lessons that he left for us to all learn from and to pass on from generation to generation. At the core of his message was about nonviolence. The core of his message was about unity, coming together for one common purpose, one common goal, and is to unite people together, that we can all live together as one on this earth, in the workplace, with our families. Dr. Martin Luther King, a lifetime lesson that we have gained from his work over his life, and we're here to celebrate that as we head into the largest march in the country for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday. So I'm glad to be here, and it's an honor to be here with the Freedom Bus Riders here at Kirby Middle School as we march over to Friendship Park.
Hello, San Antonio. This is a wonderful occasion that we celebrate every year. Martin Luther King, the man, the myth, the legend. We are so grateful to be a part of this celebration. This Alamo City Community Marching Band, we support the city in all events. This event is special, not only to the city, but also to the world. So we hope that you come out today and this weekend to celebrate this man who has done so much for our country. We thank you and we hope to see you out here.
Good afternoon, I think, right? What time is it? Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Barbara BOEIE with the Dr. BOEIE Scholarship Foundation. And I want to thank all of you for coming out, all of the ones who participated in the parade. All of you are here helping us to honor the original Mississippi Freedom Riders, as well as the Cesar Chavez Foundation and Jaime Martinez, who was the founder of the local Cesar Chavez Legacy and Education Foundation right here in San Antonio, Texas. So I'm going to ask Mr. Martinez and Mr. Ortega to come up to the stage and just give a brief information on the Chavez Foundation. Mr. Martinez is the son of Jaime Martinez, who passed away in July. Mr. Ortega represents the National Chavez Foundation out of California. So give a round of applause for them as we honor them as well, along with the Freedom Riders.
Thank you, Barbara, for putting on a wonderful event. We've been celebrating all month for an icon in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We look forward to the big day on Monday. And what an honor it is to have the Freedom Riders join this event. Very special event for history, right? To recognize our history. Something my father was always talking about, not from a young boy till his passing. He was always reminding me and many others about the importance of history and how it serves us today and leads us into the future. I thank you for honoring my dad at the banquet earlier this week. If he was here, there's no doubt he would be leading the chant and getting everybody charged up for Martin Luther King March. I know in the early days, there was less than 100 people ready to march. I know there was, Mario Salas was there, and other leaders from the community that came together when at a time it wasn't popular. Now it's easier for us to go out and celebrate. Everybody comes out. But we have to be reminded of the struggles and the steps that were put forth to take on the issues of social justice that impacted our communities. I want to hand it over to also, we give a special recognition. I was on the phone earlier this week with the National Foundation. We have a special announcement coming up, the Cesar Chavez March coming up on March 24th. But all the way from Westlaco, Texas, we have a young man that is leading the charge here in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, representing the Cesar Chavez Foundation in California. Paul Chavez, the son of Cesar Chavez, runs the foundation. And we have with us Mr. Ortega, Orlando Ortega from Wesco, Texas, representing the Cesar Chavez Foundation. Let's give him a warm round of applause and hear from him.
Thank you everybody. Good morning to all of y'all. I would like to thank Mr. Martinez here and the local Chavez Foundation. It is because of these seeds that are planted all throughout our nation that we're able to bring awareness to what's going on out in society. It is up to us, youth, to know what our ancestors, what our grandparents, what our parents went through so it doesn't go in vain. We cannot settle for that. We got to know that history will repeat itself, and it's up to us to come together, whether we're youth, whether we're adults. We got to come together and break what society has out for us. A little bit about our founder, Cesar Chavez. His philosophy was a worker's more than just a worker. You know, a worker has rights, a worker has needs. You know, Cesar Chavez did not just fight for the immigrants. He fought for equal rights for everybody, whether it was LGBTQ, whether it was undocumented. He was set out to ensure that everybody had equal rights. So I'm here on behalf of the Cesar Chavez Foundation from California, and I want to thank everyone for coming out and making this event possible. I want to thank everybody that put this together, and I want to thank all y'all for coming out on this cold morning, but it's so beautiful to see all the culture diversity that's going on here. I look forward to continuing our partnership with the BOEIE Foundation, the Mississippi Freedom Riders, and the local Chavez Foundation. And once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out.
I need your help, Orlando, with doing something I know you know how to do, and I'm going to bring up Pastor Rosita and Tony Mandujano, our board members from the Cesar Chavez Foundation. Okay, we're gonna do something as my father would do. He would go and he'd say, "Si puede, si puede," and he'd close with the clap. Viva Dr. King! Viva! Viva Freedom Riders! Viva! Viva Marco Bowie! Viva! Viva Martin Salas! Viva! Viva the community! Viva!
I think that, you know, one of the great things that we're doing this time is bringing the organizations together. We want San Antonio to show the world that this is a city of unity, diversity, and love. So this is what it's all about. Right now, I'm going to bring up two of the original Mississippi Freedom Riders. One is sick, coughing and sneezing, was not able to get out in this wind. But I'm gonna bring them up. They're just gonna say hi because on Monday, they're gonna be at the Empire Theater telling their stories. So we want everybody to come out. It's a $25 event, only $25. The Historical Empire Theater downtown. So I want the Freedom Riders to come up and say hi to you guys so that you'll know who we're honoring this MLK Celebration Week. Come on up here, guys. We all grew up together, so first I have Mr. MacArthur Cotton. He's from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. I was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. So he was in the little town outside of Jackson where they really had a hard time. And then beside him, we have Mr. Fred Anderson. He's here from Canada. And he comes every year, gets out of that freezing snow and come out here just to have some fun with us. And we have Mr. Mario Salas, who you guys should know, our freedom rider and historian right here in San Antonio, Texas. So I'm gonna let them have a word with you.
Hello. The struggle continues.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to join you, and we very much appreciate the honor and respect that you're showing us. Thank you.
Very glad to be here. Of course, we'll be seeing them also in the march on Monday, largest march in the country. And this is just great that Dr. BOEIE has put this together in the small community of Kirby, but a place that needs to honor King just like every other city needs to honor King. You know, the way we need to think about Martin Luther King is we need to know why we're marching. And before you can honor King, you need to understand what he marched for. He was a veteran soldier on the front line of the war against racism. He was a veteran soldier on the front line on the war against segregation. And this is what Dr. King stood for. This was his message. This is what he died for. And so many, many others did the same thing. So we are here to celebrate his life, his struggle, and to never forget why we are marching. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have one more thing to do. I hope it's one more, maybe more than one more. I just want to say a word about Greyhound. I think that most of you see that big bus sitting over there, the Greyhound bus. Well, back in the 60s, when the Freedom Rides started, the Greyhound bus, Trailways bus, was very significant in that movement. And it's been, like she said, over 60 years or something. But when we started doing this event to honor the Freedom Riders, we asked Greyhound if they would get involved with this project. And without any hesitation, every year, Greyhound provides a bus for us to use for the week. The bus is a chartered bus, and sometimes we're riding around, 4 or 5 of us, 2 or 3 of us, on a 50-passenger bus. Maybe I shouldn't say that, right? Because they support this effort to honor these Freedom Riders. So this time our driver is Keith. I want him to come up, and I want Miss Liza to come up and present him with an award on behalf of Greyhound. And we want to thank him on behalf of Greyhound for supporting us, I think since maybe 2012. But every year, they provide this bus for us, and they say if we need more than one, they're willing to do that as well. So as this event grows, we're gonna be needing, next year we're gonna need at least 2, maybe 3. So they're here to do whatever we need for this event. So Liza will present him with this award.
This is our very distinguished bus driver, and we want to thank you so much for volunteering your time and supporting our event this year. And on behalf of the BOEIE Foundation and everyone else that has participated, we'd like to present you with this plaque.
All right, I was not prepared for this, but thank you to the Dr. BOEIE Foundation. What started off for me as just a regular tour of duty, I was told I was going to be doing a multi-day charter for a group. No more information, but when I came out the first morning, I knew I was going to have a good time. So far, I've been treated very well. I do appreciate the people that I've met thus far, and I hope that even though it's without the effort of Graham, that I can be somehow a part of this in the future. Thank you all very much.
Can we have the Chief of Police come forward, please?
So our chief, no matter what, you know, when we do this event, he always says to me, don't you worry, Ms. BOEIE, we got you on this. And they do. They provide us everything we need from the police department. So, Kevin, this is a gift, and we appreciate the police department helping us out in every.
And thank you, Ms. BOEIE. I want to say on behalf of the police department, this is one of those events that we look forward to every year. We do enjoy having a good time coming out here, helping with the parade and being part of the event. We look forward to it every year. And we look forward to it being bigger and better next year.
Right. So thank you very much. We love Kirby, and we will continue striving to present this parade right here. We have one. I want to bring up. No. I want to bring up Deborah Hurst, Liza, and Jackie. I just want you to see, and who else? The people who have been instrumental in putting this all together. And we need to give them a big round of applause. I don't know why they're coming up like that. But can I get a big round of applause for them? And they will get something later, but we need a big round of applause because they have worked so hard. Jackie with the parade. Deborah is the chairperson overseeing everything. Liza's executive secretary, what are you? Executive assistant. And between the three of them, this whole thing this week has gone very, very well. So please give them a round of applause. Thank you. All right.
I'ma start it from the bottom. Show you how to flip a dollar. I got food in my dining. I'm better. It's another day, another chance. I wake up, I wanna dance. So as long as I got my friends, I'm better.
He say I'm so critical. Pull up on him in my vehicle. He said I'm pretty. You must be from Brazil, must be from Mexico. Roll up on him in my letting book. Jump out like both ways, make you do a double take.
Darrell Eugene Patrick, president of the Down and Dirty Trail Riders, coming out to support this march, this ride, getting ready for the Martin Luther King March on the 15th of January. We out here to support, to show what a great man Dr. Martin Luther King was. And this is the day that we decided to just get together and do a little ride to celebrate.
Yes, this is Mario Marcel Salas, and I'm here at Freedom Park in Kirby, Texas, working with Barbara BOEIE and the BOEIE Foundation in an attempt to honor Dr. King. Every year, Dr. BOEIE does this event where we honor Dr. King in the city of Kirby, and of course leading up to the city of San Antonio's main march, which is the largest march in the country. So we're looking forward to all of these events that are taking place during the weekend. There are probably hundreds of them. So we're looking forward to all of the things that are going to be taking place. I was able to speak at the San Antonio Symphony last night. The symphony honored Martin Luther King by having a Count Basie rendition of Three Kings. So, and the San Antonio Symphony pledged that they will be marching in the march on Monday for Martin Luther King's birthday. I just attended an event with 200 or 300 bicyclists, African American and other people who ride their bicycles. They're doing a tour of the east side, and they spoke up at the Martin Luther King statue, asked me to speak about the history of the statue, which I did, and told them about, we've been actually doing this, marching and celebrating King for more than 50 years. The number of years they give is 50, but it's really not correct, because the first march for Martin Luther King was way back in 1969, and actually Reverend Black helped to lead that march, and it was when Martin Luther King had just passed, and Reverend Black had one march for Dr. King while King was still alive, and that would have been in 1968. So 1969, 68, first march. Reverend Callies then organized a march in 72, but it didn't become very big until 1978, when all of the big community organizations joined in on the march. And then of course now we have the largest march in the country.
We're just about to make our turn.